Bing bong. Hey, here we are. We're live. It's the Martin Fowler Scrum with Sam and Stamatios and Paul and Nicola and Lucy. Welcome all. We're doing our quick stand-up, going around each person who's got anything to update us on. I've had a bit more sleep than I had last time. Sigu is also here. Sigu, yay, Sigu! So that's good. So sleep, and I've had the decaf coffee today, so hopefully I'll be slightly calmer. I have been working on, I guess, the Anthony Powell Society database. The main thing, it's all been, oh, and we have Crafty Coder as well. Yes, what a big Scrum today. Yay. Welcome, Crafty. So yes, actually, I've spent, it's good 2 hours, I think, on Microsoft support this morning. And I've now got Office 365 installed on my PC. And so I'm kind of unblocked from where I was. And this is like doing the Anthony Powell Society charity database. So that's good. I've also been doing for our paid project, this is the MyNoteboat kind of React Native mobile. I've set up a pivotal tracker. I've started doing some costings. Hoping to have a discussion with that about that with Mikhail later on today. So that's some good progress on that. Those are both paid project fronts. Other stuff, we had the AV community meeting last night. Ben Blanchard won the contribution support award, which is great. I've got a pair programming session coming up with Sigu. There's the RSpec mob. So not really blocked. A bit worried am I falling behind with this stuff to review for people, but that's my update. Stamatios, you were in first. How are things going with you?
Everything's going well on my end. I was just continuing with local support, the breadcrumbs issue that I was talking about yesterday. There seems to be a lot of Cucumber and RSpec issues, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to work through all those. I think I found like just 50 Cucumber issues alone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it'll take me a little bit of time just to get through it. But I'm going to keep chugging away at it. Okay.
Good show. Yeah, well, maybe we might have a quick look at that at the end. Hopefully it will just be a lot of simple changes, but we will see. Anything else on your mind?
Nothing else at the moment.
All right, good show. Let's go on to, I think Nicola was in next. Hey, Nicola, how are things going with you?
Hi there. Good. I did some contributions to the SHF project this morning, and now I'm thinking on taking the two issues that we have on website one. One is with the rake task that is with the karma things that I don't know why it's not working, and the other one is the upgrade to Rise 5 by using the how was it, the medium?
Moving from the Mercury editor to the medium editor. Yeah.
So today I will be working on that, and I have no blockers. Yep.
Great stuff. Fantastic. Thank you, Nicola. Let's go on next to Paul. Paul, how are things going with you?
Oh, very good, Sam. I was having trouble building the iActivity node framework and iActivity itself, but I resolved that. Turned out to be due to a Git configuration. It wasn't handling long file names. So I had to change that. And then everything worked. So that was great.
Great.
Attended a really good presentation last night by a company that does peer-to-peer trading.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks very promising. We might be able to hook up with them. So that's it.
That's great. Open peer power project. Wonderful. Go on.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'll probably be in the UK about the 20th of May.
All right. There. Oh, good stuff. Oh, maybe a chance to meet up then.
Yeah. Excellent. Where are you?
London, Northwest London.
You're in London. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, see what happens.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Excellent. Thanks for the update there, Paul. Moving on. Wonderful. We've got Sigu, and I think is it also Sigu's friends as well. Sigu, do you want to give us an update and maybe introduce some of your friends?
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you loud and clear. Hey, Sigu.
All right. Thank you. Hey, guys. So I have a couple of my friends here. Musa, Mise, who's also on the call. Oh, only two. Oh, and the Crafty Coder. And so I have 3 friends online. 2 are still struggling to get in. I don't know why. But since morning, we've been working on a couple of things. For the 4 of us, we've been setting up local support. Yeah, we've been going through setting up local support, and after that, we did some code gutters. What else did we do? Trifine. Yeah, we did the code gutters. We read through a book. Yeah, that's all we did during the morning hours. Then in the afternoon, we're joining the Scrum and see what's happening in Scrum, because for some of them it's the first time they're joining Scrum, so they might be, they just might be listening in.
Yeah, which is totally cool. And listening in is always totally cool here. It's all about allowing people to listen in. But if at any time they want to participate, if anybody wants to tell us anything, you can also jump in and do that. But yeah, take it one step at a time. Anything blocking you at the moment, Sigurd?
Yeah, we would need some little help on picking up a few issues. Yeah, later on, so that we can get started. We want to get our feet wet as fast as possible on this.
Great stuff. Okay, good show. Well, I guess, yeah, I won't put any of your friends on the spot today. It's their first Scrum. You know, you sort of see how it goes round. If you're not blocked on anything, there's no need to put people in the spotlight. But you know, very, very keen to bring people in to give us their own contributions, explain how things are going for them whenever they're ready. Well, that's great. Well, that then is our Scrum. So anybody who needs to drop off they don't feel you're compelled to stay. As I was saying, I'm tempted to maybe just have a little look at the errors that Stamatios is receiving on local support. Sigurd, you were also saying about wanting to look for particular issues in local support to work on. And I guess it's maybe you will do that in a future Scrum, Sigurd, rather than now. If you
sorry, Sam, I missed that. Sorry, I missed that. What was I saying?
Yeah, you mentioned that you want to help finding issues within, say, local support to work on.
Yeah.
Should we do that is that something that you need right now, or we wait to a future Scrum?
If it's possible, we could do it right now so that we can divide the task. We can start pairing on that. Since we have 4, we can pair on that 2-2. Yeah, if that's possible.
Yeah, totally. I mean, so what about? Oh, go on. Go on. You're nipping off then, Paul. Right, bye for now. Okay, yeah. So local support. What we might just do. So I mean, there's a sort of a heuristic that I've probably talked to you about before, Sigurd, that I use when getting involved in a project. It assumes that it's got GitHub. But so one of the first things that I do is I try and look through, you know, the open pull requests. What are other people working on? What are they doing? And because there's this general thing that we where possible, we don't want pull requests to be hanging around, because as of course you know, as the pull request hangs around for longer and longer, it potentially diverges from the underlying code base. I mean, we can be merging develop back in all the time, but it's sort of it's a little bit dangerous when we have the pull requests kind of running long, although of course we've got several of ours that are very, very long running ones. And one way to get involved is to like reach out to people and see if you can help. Just to give you a sense of, oh hey Praveen, some of the things that are going on local support. We had this one. We got this long running attempt at getting the feature to automatically post information to social media feeds. I think this is now on the cusp of being merged in. Yeah, I mean this is just one that welcome to look through and potentially give thoughts and feedbacks. Nick took over from I forget the name of the original developer, and we've gone backwards and forwards on this. That's an interesting thing to look at. You know, even if you don't comment, and as I was saying to Nicola before, you know, even if you're just giving like a thumbs up here and there on places, you know, it's a nice way to sort of like just make a little connection with the project. But yeah, so that one hopefully should be closed very soon. I'm just gonna look for any others that are outstanding. We've got this one here that's holding off. I guess this is we've got this one. We're stuck, aren't we, Nicola, on upgrading to the latest version of PG? This is like a tricky one, right? We shouldn't get any beginners on this. This is quite tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing is that Rails still doesn't support that version, okay. At least in the latest versions of Rails, the ones that are released. So we have to wait. There are a couple of comments there, and I'm updating the comment from time to time to see what is happening with that issue. Yeah.
Okay. So that one, is we maybe need to add a flag to that to just indicate. Maybe I don't know, Nicola, if you have a chance, could you make? I don't know if we've got a blocked flag, or you could just make a blocked flag and add it to that one so that it appears, because it's we don't want people kind of thinking that they, I mean, just to indicate that we kind of aware that we're stuck on that one.
Okay, cool. Yep. I'll do it.
So then we've got the thing that Stamatios is working on. That I think we've got the code. It's pretty much working the way we want it, isn't that right, Stamatios?
That's correct.
Yeah, and so this was sort of a fix of the breadcrumbs. But again, just to review the issue that Stamatios is encountering there is, so you're getting a big load of failures, like you say, like 50 Cucumber failures and RSP failures that are happening both in CI and also for you locally. Is that right?
Well, I'm just getting it locally right now.
Okay.
Well, actually, I was able to knock it down to, I think I knocked all the RSpec issues out, and I have only approximately 7 Cucumber failures at the moment.
Right.
I don't believe I checked in the whatever my changes were, but
no. Okay, fair enough. So there's not much point in looking at this one here. Okay, yeah, and it's just, so I guess it's just a bit. You've made a change or something and it's working, and it's just that there's like a. Yeah, so I guess you're feeling really reasonably comfortable that it's just a question of time of working through, and eventually the errors will all be fixed and not going to be a problem. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. No, that's fine. So it sounds like we do reach out if you need more help, but sounds like you're on top of that one. And let's go. I'm trying to go back to see if we've got anything. I noticed we've got. So Nicola, you started working with Stella on the newsletter events. And you've got these 2 other pull requests here. What's the status on these? Would you like help with any of these? What do you think is the situation for these 3?
Yeah, sure. For the one that is up there, the geocoder logic moved to be applied on the original controller. There are a couple things that are working. That, for example, when we are doing the import from a CSV file and we are updating the organization.
Oh, that's right.
That is using the
right.
That is using the after validation.
Yeah.
Or the before validation. I don't remember. But the thing is that I don't know if we should just close it and leave it as it was working.
Yeah.
Or we should also start changing other things. I don't know.
Well, I think, and I was sort of stuck thinking about this the other day, and but yeah, I think the thing to do, because we may need this CSV stuff, at least it needs to be kind of available to be inspected, because it's sort of, even for historical reasons. I mean, what we've done is we've taken the after validation hook out and made it so that the controller, that I think we should probably, this path of least resistance is to do the same thing for the CSV import, is just in the CSV import, add the thing so we call explicitly the geocoding operation. Do you know what I mean? Like we're doing in the controller.
Yes.
That's
perfect.
But so yeah, that should be like a simple fix for you, and then that will be done. Do you have a plan to get back together with Stella and work on the newsletter?
Yeah, I mean, I have to talk with her to see when she's going to be available to work on it.
But yeah, you're well into that. And the uglified, this was the one. This is another one that should be marked as blocked. This is a really tricky one. Okay, so that's the overview of the pull requests. And for Sigu and colleagues, I mean, Sigu knows the local support better. For those of you who are coming into local support, these things may not make immediate sense. What I would certainly encourage you to do is, but sort of let it all wash over you. It's kind of, there's like a lot of bits and pieces, but just even experiencing the terms and the words and getting used to them. But it doesn't look like we've got any immediate place that people can jump in and start helping out on the pull requests there.
Well, one of the I have one suggestion. Maybe one of the places is the things that the cold climate marks, like little fixes to start like.
Oh yes.
Maybe that is a place where they can start looking around the project and make improvements.
Absolutely, yes.
Parts of the code.
Often a way that people get started. So we've got here, so some of these things, we've got these refactor operations. So at the very top of the icebox, we've got some refactor tickets there and so these ones, particularly like these top 3 that have been voted, if you wanted to grab any of these Sigu, yeah, that they should represent relatively small changes to just either the application code or the Cucumber code, and so they might be really good starting places, I would say. You see those 3 there? Yeah. We've got this one here, which is your own one, isn't it, Sigu? The bigger picture of smoothing the onboarding process, which will is an ongoing. I think we can always improve there. But yeah, and then there are other bits and pieces, in here. Anything that's voted on. So it's got the little tick points there to indicate 1, 2, or 3. Those are maybe good things to get started with. But you can, at any time, if you see something there that so for example, we've got things here that haven't yet been voted on, like this event creation needs start and end time as well as start and end dates. That's like an extension to the events thing, and it's a fairly straightforward one. But we should get them voted on, and of course you can always jump into a Scrum. We probably don't have time to do any votes now because I've got to get ready for our pairing, Sigu. But we can then, oh gosh, where is it? The anybody can start a vote on a ticket like this. So this would be start and end dates for events. So we've got this voting of it. You know how the voter works, don't you, Sigu? Yeah, you've seen that. So just do /voter. I'll pop that in there because that might be a nice one to do as a kind of an async vote. I think we probably don't have time to do it in detail there. But yeah, anybody using /voter can start a vote on something. You just put in a little description of the ticket and then a link to the ticket itself. And then maybe, I guess we can spend 5 minutes on this with particularly Stamatios and Nicola are here. Should we just show the process of getting votes done? It doesn't have to be done in the meeting. It can be left there and people come and browse it and look at it. But so, yeah, we've got this, events system in here, and the events at the moment, they have a start and end date, but they don't have a start and end time. So if we look at, for example, the feature in production, oh gosh, and then I have to sign in. Oh, security. Oh, if we just didn't, if just the computers could recognize us from our faces, that would be the way, wouldn't it? It's I wish that you just need computers that know who you are. Okay, and now here, yeah, oh gosh, and then it's like I've got to press it 3 times. Okay, go there. That's my admin account, I think. Should click remember me.
That's dangerous. My brother unlocked my phone yesterday with his face.
Oh, did he? Right, because he looks similar enough to you.
I
think so. Yeah.
So I should follow that.
Heading in the right direction, but not quite good enough. It's interesting. Yeah, Apple seems to be able to distinguish. My wife says between I have identical twin boys, and they get separated out apparently almost correctly in the the thing. But so here, so at the moment we've got start date and end date, right, for these events, but there's no start time and end time. So that's the we would need a change to include start and end time in the system. So the view would need to change. We'd probably need to make a change to the database schema, with the migration, and write all the necessary tests. I'll just put that diagram in here. So there. So the process of voting is us trying to all agree on how difficult the task is, and we usually do it in terms of saying either one would be a simple task, so that's maybe just a change to the view, just like a cosmetic change, may have a small test associated with it. 2 is a bit more of a medium, more complex task, and so there, if you need to make changes to the database, if you need to introduce a new library, a new gem that you haven't used a lot before, then that's so this is needs time version of the above, and then we've got the 3rd level of really hard, and that's kind of okay, there's significant changes to the database with code refactoring and maybe a couple of new gems and just loads of unknowns and so on. So we can see there. So Nicola has navigated to the local support channel and he's clicked one of these buttons. We don't know which yet. We don't know which yet. It's all secret. It's the suspense. But so maybe don't feel that everybody has to vote, but Stamatios, if you could have a vote, and maybe Sigu yourself. Of course, before there's no requirement to vote in a rush. If people want to stop and say, well, explain this, is there anything else we can have a little discussion here? Really, this is not so much about the answer, it's about having the discussion. Is everybody clear about what the feature involves here? This thing, yeah. And if anybody have any questions about, you know, things that might be difficult or what have you, I'll just go and put my vote in as well. If and Kevin's vote as well. Yoo-hoo! So basically we can see there's been 5 votes, and we have a kind of a rule of thumb that you need to get at least 3. If we weren't doing it in real time, we could just sort of leave that there and come back to it later, and other people would kind of, you know, we'd need to leave more documentation really in the ticket. But then, and if anybody can do this, I'll do it now just for illustration purposes. We can click reveal, we can reveal all those votes, and we can see, aha. So we've got actually a consensus for medium, but Stamatius is out on his own there with a simple. And my other rule of thumb is that we kind of choose whoever's like isolated in a small group there and say, you go first, which is you know, maybe a bit mean, but yeah, Stamatius, you were thinking simple rather than medium,
right? Because I think that it's already been completed on the organizational tab, if I'm not mistaken. So the functionality would be pretty just to mimic that same functionality. If I'm not mistaken, it's on the organizational that you volunteers tab. I don't remember which one, but yeah, it wouldn't be too much. It wouldn't be really difficult.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And maybe I'll take Nicola as the representative of the medium camp. What was making you think that it was medium rather than simple, Nicola?
I was thinking that if we have to make a change to the database, like making a new migration for holding the time that we need to set up, that it will include some tests, and we will go from the model to the view. So yeah, I was thinking that is why it was medium.
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree. That's my kind of rule of thumb. I think it's kind of borderline. You were mentioning, Stamatius, the organizational thing. I think that the key thing is that we already have approximately the functionality that we need implemented in the event, which is that we have the start date component of it, and it's just adding the start time. But as Nicola says, it would actually require that migration to the database. So by my own heuristic, because we actually have to make that migration, even though it's a fairly straightforward one, that would tinge it towards medium rather than simple for me, and particularly from the point of view of a beginner. If we had if the ticket was, for example, you know, that we need to have different text here, you know, or just that we needed to make a change to the you know, adding a different picker or something like that, then that would be probably easier for a beginner than if it involved the migration component. But it's definitely borderline. What do you think, Stamatius? On that basis, shall we give it a medium on this occasion?
Yeah, no objection.
All right, good show. And yeah, so that's, I mean, the important thing, far more than the particular value that we've then assigned to it, is that we were able to have the discussion and kind of come together, you know, and some sort of, and even if fundamentally we all kind of disagreed, and just then at the end we just said, well, let's go with a 2. It's having had the discussion that's actually more important than the you know, got the exact numbers right, is the key point. So well, there we go. I hope that was illustrative and helpful. Sigu, will you have enough to work with in terms of picking off some little tickets to work on?
Yeah, I think that's enough for us to start working with and understand the workflow of the particular project. Even the simple pull request, opening a simple pull request will enable us to understand the CI, how to open a pull request and the likes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, how to do code reviews.
Fantastic. Great stuff.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, lovely to see you all, and look forward to seeing more of you. And Sigo, I'll see you in about 15 minutes for our session, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Great stuff. Have a wonderful day, everybody. See you all again soon. Bye for now.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.